All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard, Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. Also, if you feel compelled to, make a donation to the channel at $ KENNARD STEWART via, or however you want to pronounce it. Cash App, and as always, great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. You know, I really like the fact that the SEC has approved interconference transfers. So let me help some of the more casual folks understand what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy's at LSU, hits the transfer portal, and he can immediately play at Auburn or any other team in the SEC the following year. I think that's a huge thing, especially coming into this season, especially with, coronavirus 19, where, recruiting classes haven't been as, stellar for some. But then they're stellar for some, but they still capitalize on this transfer rule, and we go from there. Now, I thought one of the detractors would have been Alabama for sure, because if anything, they recruit pretty well, and if anything, their guys are the ones that are going out. But when Georgia were the perceived beneficiaries among the elite of the SEC, I was like, okay, I think this thing is gonna pass. I think they're gonna say, look, I think the vote is gonna be all but unanimous. Georgia, for example, if you look at Georgia coming into the 2021 season, I mean, they've recruited well enough to really compete. But there were some holes in really key spots. We look at George Pickens, who is down with an ACL injury. I mean, he might play this year, maybe come back in the middle of this season. It might be out for the whole season. But I'll say this. If Georgia cannot capitalize on what they have been able to do from tangible recruiting and the benefits of interconference recruiting, I would say, if I'm a Georgia fan, if we're not competing for, especially with JT Daniels as quarterback, you got some pretty decent receivers. You got a great running back. You got a good offensive, defensive line. I mean, the defense is probably one of the best in the country. If Georgia does not compete for, at best, SEC East is off the table. They got to win the SEC East. If they don't make an appearance in the SEC Conference Championship, albeit not win it, and find themselves in the college football playoff, with all the recruiting and all the promises, I mean, Kirby, you've been there for about 6 years. It's time to make something happen. If they don't do it this year, with all that's involved, I mean, you look at what Georgia has coming in. You got Taki Smith from West Virginia, the defensive back from West Virginia. Was I think like an All-American. Then you got Eric Gilbert, tight end that you could play on. And you could probably put him as a slot receiver to wreak some havoc in the intermediate passing game. Then you got Darian Kendrick from Clemson. So if Georgia can't make it happen this year, And even looking at the schedule, they can't make it happen this year. We got a situation where we got Kirby Smart as Mark Richt, and I hate using this term because it's so cliche. Mark Richt 2.0. Get him out of there. He's on the hot seat for sure if he cannot navigate through this schedule and make it to the SEC championship and land himself in the college football playoff. And he kind of sort of needs to win. Now, there are some detractors to the Georgia schedule. They got Clemson the first game. Now, I want you guys to leave in the comment section, do you think Georgia's going to beat Clemson? First game. Do you think that Georgia is mentally and physically prepared to win that game? But that ain't got nothing to do with Auburn, though. This is huge for Auburn. This transfer rule that the SEC has passed is huge for Auburn. TJ Finley, quarterback from LSU, now we know will be immediately available. And he's got a little bit of time left, eligibility-wise, as an Auburn Tiger. Why do we like him? Hell, he's 6'5", 250 pounds. Not scared of the pocket. But I think Bryan Harsin and his staff will give these guys a little bit more. They understand the scope of the SEC. It doesn't matter. You don't have that much time to just sit in the pocket. And I think that's where Bo Nix will be a beneficiary of the Bryan Harsin regime, is that they understand you don't want to put your offensive line in an adverse position like the previous staff who's down at UCF. Good luck to him. This is a big day for the SEC. And I think as I close out, I think this will give a little bit more parity in the conference. Parity, I mean a little bit more fairness, a little bit more competitive edge. Because I don't want to see a situation where Alabama is ranked number 1 and Texas A&M is ranked number 12 and Alabama beats them 59-0. That's not the kind of conference I want to see. I want to see more parity. Go ahead and contribute to the channel. Also, I've been pushing this thing. I got 0.9 female subscribers on this channel. And I know there are a lot more women that like Auburn football. So I'm at 0.9. I want to be at like 1.2 by the end of this week. So ladies, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All right, in the comment section, let me know what you think about this interconference transfer rule with the SEC. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. Always, I mean, for sure, it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.